Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, May 21st. And give a big shout out to my wife. Happy birthday, honey. Many, many years to come. But getting into it right now. If you are new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. That is, of course, if you do like it, but I hope you will. Let's get into our economic data for today. We've got unemployment claims, 209,000 down from 210,000 expected. Building permits are up for the housing. So housing starts, I'd imagine those should be up as well. But we'll see. It's still waiting on a pending number for the housing starts here. At 8:45, flash manufacturing PMI and then flash PMI services. So yeah, housing starts are up just a little bit. This number here with the unemployment claims at 209,000, I anticipate that to rise, in the months to come. Everything happening with the AI, they're talking about layoffs in all these big tech and software companies due to AI. So we're going to see how that impacts things. Yesterday, you had NVIDIA earnings. The growth was 85% year over year, which is astonishing for a company of that size. Their forward earnings per share is still at 14% versus Walmart or Costco, which is at like 47%. So even though we're at new highs with NVIDIA, it seems to be kind of cheap compared to Costco or Walmart, right? I heard that. I give Tom Lee credit for that. So I heard that off of one of his podcasts. But anyways, they're talking about that the AI margins may shrink a little bit. So I think that could be one of the reasons why it's in the penalty box, a little bit of a penalty box here. So rest of the week here, you've got Kevin Warsh being sworn in tomorrow. You did have some FOMC speak yesterday, and it was kind of hawkish to potential rate hikes due to inflation creeping up. So if inflation gets above 2%, I think there could be some rate hikes in the near future. So anyways, let's get into things here. Let's start talking about what we normally start with. We'll start with the VIX. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and like this video. So the VIX is below the 20-day moving average of $17.86. Closes gap up from May 14th. There's still, even though we're below the 100 and the 50-day, the 100 is sitting at $19.80, and the 50s at 21.04. We have some gap downs. One from April 8th, $25.74, and then one just above that from March 30th at $30.64. So at some point, I could see those potentially filling there. So let's get over to the oils right now. There seems to be some talks about getting closer to a deal out in Iran, so oil is coming off a little bit. You could see the Brent crude right now is what we're on. So Brent crude is foreign oil. It's more expensive because it takes more effort to refine it to get it into user-friendly form versus WTI, where it's pretty much like it's cleaner and it's pretty much pull and use. So right now you have the 20-day, it's hovering at the 20-day moving average price per barrel, $107 per barrel, and it bounced off of the 50-day, which is at $104.16. For those of us that live in the States here, this is a number that that impacts us directly. So kind of hovering at that $100. So I'd like to at least get down in between the 50-day moving average at $98.22 a barrel to call it $100 a barrel, right? So if you can get below that, that helps the pocketbook a little bit. You still have this gap up from I don't even know what date it is, but $94.87. You would like us to continue to push, fall further and at least get to the 100-day moving average at $81.70 a barrel. We do have some levels. If it does push up at $104.06 a barrel, probably get some resistance there. And then if you do pop above that and hold that, you'll probably push into that 106. And then after that 106, you get into that $110 a barrel. Hopefully we don't get there. So let's get over to the ES. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. The ES is holding nicely here, but as far as I'm concerned, I still think that we're in a consolidation period here. You did have some movement yesterday after the close with NVIDIA. I think this is all NVIDIA's move right here. And now you can see it's starting to sell off a little bit from this morning. Where do we sell off there? Yeah, 5:15 this morning started selling off. You're getting a little reaction off of the economic data right now. Oh, excuse me. But it's I still think that we're consolidating here right now. On the downside here, if you lose 74.0648, you come down to 73.6350, which is the 19th low. So that's Tuesday's low. So, and then if you lose Tuesday's low, 73.63.5, you've got the 20-day moving average at 73.40.94. I still think we need more flush in order for the markets to continue to push higher. We have open point of controls. You've got one down here at 72.82.94. And then below that one, you have a couple. The lowest one is at 7,034.76. I think a flush into this range down here into the between 69.61 83, which is the 100-day moving average, in the 7,005 range between 100 and the 50-day moving average. I think those are some decent flush levels. If we did get that, that pullback, I think that those would be pretty decent levels of pullback. On the upside here, if you regain the 74.8570 level, which is 161.8% Fibonacci level, you can push into that all-time high at 75.40 above all-time high. Next level I have is not till 77.59.35. So there is a little bit of a speed zone here. If you can get above this pre-market high, I think you can push into that, at least at 74.8570 level. So to see what the market gives us today, I still think that we're consolidating a little bit right now. The SPY is going to look pretty identical to the ES. You can see we're getting some sell-off right now. So I think that you're not looking long right now until at least you get over yesterday's close, sitting at 741.25. If you get above that, you've got the 743.46 level. That I believe is the high from the 15th, which is Friday. So let me mark that. I didn't mark that. I don't know why. Okay, so that's a weekly high of last week. Or not a weekly high of last week. It's Friday's high. So you got to get above that in order to continue to push higher. On the downside here, the 737.96 level. It's bouncing off of it right now. I think if you lose that level, you can come down and test yesterday's lows below that. Got a weekly low at 731.75. So watch those levels right there. Below that, you got the 20-day 728.29. So let's get over to the NASDAQ right now. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, like this video. Same thing on the NASDAQ right now. I think all these pops right now are getting rejected. So any kind of buying coming in, still kind of in a range here between this, let's say 29,458.5 level, and then obviously this 28,740 level right here. So I would, again, I'd like to see some flush in order for us to continue to push higher here. Like I said, at least pull back to this, not necessarily today, but this 28,533.93 level. You do have a high here from May 7th at 28,944.75. You see that it did pop above that yesterday, tried to hold it, and then in post-market, it was rejecting it, but now we're above it right now. So I think a break of this level coming back there, I think you can have that, use that as a decent support level right there. Something earth-shattering comes out and you lose that, you've got that low at 28,740. And then below that, you've got a weekly low at 28,336. So let's get over the Qs. Qs are going to look pretty similar. Same thing. Same thing. We're consolidating right now. So in order for the Qs to continue to move higher, you can see that it's rejecting right now at this low from the 14th of May, 714.22. In order to get higher, you're going to have to regain that level. So right now, it's rejecting in pre-market. So watch that level right there. You have the 707.85 level. It's a regressional trend line, high-end regressional trend line here from April 5th of 2025. If you lose that, you're going to get some flush, I think, into this 696.64 level. Below that, you've got the 20-day at 689.07. And then below that, I don't have any other support until we get down to this midline regressional trend line. That same line from April 5th of 2025 down to 657.74. So on the upside, same thing on the upside. Must regain the 714.22 in order to push into all-time highs at 721.93. Okay, that's it for the futures and the Qs and the SPY. Now let's get into some fun stuff. Tesla here. Tesla, nice little push yesterday. See, it's rejecting here this 424.5. It's a point of control that was open from the 15th. So this is open from Friday. So now it's filled. So I'm going to put filled there. And I'm actually going to put filled. I'm going to put yesterday's date because that's technically when it filled. It filled in post-market. So that's done. So that's filled. So in order to continue to push higher, you're going to have to regain that 424.5. And then you're pushing this 431.20 where you'll get some resistance. However, if Tesla can get some steam, there's a nice little speed zone here. It's kind of a gap down area here from 435 up to 432 before you can get some resistance here. We've got an open point of control up there at 444.62. That's the first one that we have above us. There's some other ones here. You got a 458.84 from January of this year. And then, of course, the last one that we have a 478.39. That's from December 26th of last year. People, don't forget, we still have this open point of control down at 333.97. I know it's almost 100 points lower, but we all know Tesla can, eat your heart out after a few days here. So be careful of these levels right now. I would not mind to see a little bit of a flush here. Pull back maybe into this 414.5 level is a decent level. That was always a big level for us. You could see it rejected it yesterday, and then end of the day it popped through it. So, excuse me. So you see it popped through it at the end of the day, and then we came back down it in post-market. And that's why we do not have this open point of control right here. You can see that right here, this would have been an open point of control at 412.90, but right here, you could see this candle, it wicked right on it and touched it. So that's why I do not have an open point of control there. You could draw a line there for just a regular point of control, but I just like drawing open point of control. So let's get into the fun stuff now. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button and like this video. New indicator here, the MAG 7 indicator that we've been working on, and the numbers are fantastic here. Okay, so this is our best numbers are on the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute, it's at a 96% rate for the last 30 days that it identifies levels. First of all, let me get to the proper date here. So here is yesterday. So yesterday, you can see it's cleaner at the beginning part of the day, and then it gets choppier towards the end of the day. So I've done back testing now on the 1 minute chart for Tesla for the last 32, 33 days now, and it hits at least one of the price targets 96% of the days, right? So what are we talking about? You don't hit the price target out of 32 days. You don't hit the price target maybe one of those days, one or two of those days, right? So yesterday, here's a perfect example here. Everything that you see on here is all code written, and it's automatically generated once the market opens up. It gives you your range here. So here is your first range here yesterday. And from here, the green dotted line is your high end, and the red dotted line is your low end. And when you break, it gives you an early call entry, and then your price target is the solid blue. Second price target is the dotted on the upside for the calls, or for if you're just trading the regular equity. On the downside, it gives you a purple solid line for your first price target, and then a dotted purple line for your second price target. And now what you see here, you can't see this too well here. Maybe you could see it today. It plots the pre-market low and pre-market high. Okay, so right now, before the market opens, you can see it's starting to plot right now. Even before the market opens, here is your low of the pre-market at 419.04, and here is your high so far at 424.93. Okay, so some people, they actually can base a trade off of the pre-market low break and pre-market high break, right? But that's not what we do. That's not what I do. Okay, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at all different ways to get an edge, right? You always have to look to improve your edge. But the one thing that we know for certain right now is that one of these the first price target is being hit 96% of the days that I've back tested for the last 32 days. And now, mind you, that we're still in beta form on this, but this is definitely going to be, we're definitely going to get ready to start marketing these things. Now, I don't care what kind of data people give you and any kind of codes they tell you, and they tell you that they have the fountain of youth. You still need to do your own homework. You still, at this point right now, this is not it's not an AI trade where it's automatic. I still have discretion on when I'm taking my trades. However, I used to have all these indicators on my charts all the time, and they look so pretty, and you go back and you back test and you look and you're like, oh, look, it bounced off of that 9-minute EMA, and oh, it came down to the VWAP and it bounced off the VWAP and it looks so nice. Well, it's a lot easier to go back and say, oh, I could have made this much money while you're going back and you're looking at the trade that could have happened. But while it's happening, I always struggled. Okay, well, you've got this emotion coming here right now. Like, look at this big red candle here. Why would you think about buying here on this big red candle? You wouldn't. But now look what happened towards the end of the day. The end of the day, we ended up way up here, right? So, here's that big red candle, but then look where we ended up in the rest of the day. So what the indicator is measuring, it's measuring volume, it's measuring levels, and it's actually generating a signal. So this generated the call signal right here, and this generated another signal when it broke through the 5-minute, or actually it's the 1-minute opening range. And then here is your price target. All of these lines that I have up here, these are all lines that I draw during the day for trading, just to measure if the market's going to come back, so I can get rid of that, and it looks nice and pretty now, right? So what I've noticed is at the beginning part of the day, this is where the biggest bang for your buck is. And then the rest of the day in here, you could just get chopped up, because now you're thinking, okay, well, now we're going to, not only did we hit the call price target, but now look at this. Now we're going to potentially hit the put price target. And there's many days where not only does it hit the put price target, but then it comes back later on in the afternoon and hit the call price target, and then sometimes vice versa. So the fantastic thing about this is when you're in a trade, it identifies early call, and then it gives it that yellow square. I call it the yellow square of death, meaning that whatever direction you're in the trade, it's saying get out and get out now. So it gives multiple trades. It tells you to exit a setup. It tells you to get into a trade. Early entry call right here. Here's another beautiful call entry right here. Here was the last one of the day, which was the best one, but I typically don't want to trade that late. Actually, looking at it, that's only 10:15. So you could have made a lot of money yesterday just buying and selling off of these levels yesterday. So one thing we want you to do, we want you to come in and we want you to do your own homework for starters, right? But also to keep in mind, one thing I left out is on the 2-minute. So the 2-minute yesterday, it hit its price target too. So I've done back testing on the 1-minute and the 2-minute. So the 2-minute is a 90% win rate per day. So the 1-minute is 96 and the 2-minute is 90%. So it may be better off taking the 2-minute trade, right? Because you'll get a bigger bang for your buck. Sometimes the range is not as kind of right on sometimes. So let's take a look at this. So yesterday, the first price target for Tesla was 413.55. And now if I change it to the 2-minute, the price target yesterday was 414.01. So, 80 cents higher. So that you make more money, a bigger bang for your buck on the 2-minute, but you have a less of a win rate on it. But I mean, so far to complain about less of a win rate with 90 cents, that doesn't bother me that much there with a 90% win rate here. I mean, so now you could take a look at the 5-minute. The 5-minute yesterday hit, not till the end of the day. So that price target was at 416.11, right? So that price target was $3 higher. I have this set where I can put this on any Mag 7. I can put this on, let's look at NVIDIA. We could put this on NVIDIA, any of the Mag 7 stocks. So now let's look at the stock yesterday for NVIDIA. Boom, this is a 5-minute on NVIDIA. Wow, NVIDIA hit the 5-minute, no problem. Obviously, if the 5-minute hit, the 1-minute definitely hit, right? So this is the same I'm just flipping back and forth. I'm not doing anything. I'm not writing any of this. This is all computer generated, and it's a code that we've just started building for the last month now. So let's take look at some other ones here. Let's look at Amazon. Amazon. Boom. This is a 1 minute chart we're looking at. So Amazon yesterday, 261, 262. Now, obviously, the different stocks, they don't move as much, right? However, you're just paying attention to the price target. And if you're trading options, that's how you can capitalize on things. Let's look at Microsoft from yesterday. Microsoft is not really one of the better performers. Actually, the results on Microsoft were the worst out of all of them. I think it was performing at, from Microsoft, actually a 90% win rate on the 1 minute, and on a 2 minute was only 76%. But you can see Microsoft had hit its levels also, right? So you had a 415 break of the 1 minute, and then you 417, so $2 out of that. Now, people, if you're trading options, you're making a ton of money doing this, right? Let's take a look at Meta. So Meta, same thing. Both price targets are hit. People, this is fantastic. Not only would Meta hit the put price target, and then came back later on and hit both price targets on the upside, right? So, real special stuff, people. Very happy to share this information with you. If you want to get more information, you need to do some work. You need to, one, come to our QOL website here. And right here, there's a couple boxes to click here. You can click on the Discord, join our Discord community, and that's for free. And then if you want to come into our trade desk from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time, you click on here, and it should bring you to our WAP. It will bring you here. So this will bring you here, and you can join a 1 day free trial, and then after that, it's a monthly fee of $39.99, right? Then down here, this is a free part. Also, put your name, your email address in here. Join our QOL Circle. You get a newsletter every Sunday. We've done 9 editions so far. It goes over the week in review, and then also a week ahead of what to expect. So we're really trying to offer as much as possible. And then lastly, if you want some mentorship, come on down here, learn our strategy here, and click on this link right here. Schedule a call with me. It's a 15-minute call, and we will identify where you are in your trading journey and if I'm a good fit for you. Because just because you want to learn with me doesn't necessarily mean that we'd be a good fit for one another. So a little of a screening process that's involved with there. So aside from that, if I don't see everybody in the Discord channel, by the way, I want to go over one last thing before we go. When you do get on the Discord channel, it is free. Here's for the free part for the memberships, right? So the free part of the memberships are right here, pre-market analysis. You get the link that I post every morning here, and that brings you to where we are right now. There's a levels channel here if you want me to go over any stocks other than Tesla or the typical pre-market analysis that I go over. Just drop a note down here. I'll be glad to go over the stocks. I don't do any penny stocks here. And then here's another way to access our trade desk here. The same thing. Here's another link to get to the WAP. And then there's our trade desk link right here. When you click on that link right there, then during the day, we will be brought into our trade desk in here. And this is where you're going to see the live trades that go on. By the way, for today, I'm going to start the day at 425 calls. They expire tomorrow. And then the 405 puts that expire tomorrow. So now you can see this is how you make your money here. This is how you monetize all the levels, right? So if you're using the levels and you want to sell it, I have my puts down below. If I think the market's going up, I have my calls right here. And so this is basically the way you calculate this is it's $3.40. It's 340. Your cost is $340, right? Even though it says $3.40, you have to multiply it by 100 with options. And this says $1.85. So if you buy a one lot, it costs you $185 of risk. As the market goes up, you could see if it's below $3 in the premium, $300 actually in a premium, it moves in pennies. If it gets above $3, it moves $5 a piece, right? So if you buy a one lot and it moves up when you're trading a premium above $3, you make $5 versus if it moves up a little bit and you're trading a premium below $3, you only make $1, right? So We always like to have that sweet spot of trading our premiums above $3 because you get a bigger bang for your buck, right? So once you learn the process, you start out small. You trade with one lots, and by the way, with the way I trade, you need to trade more than just a one lot because you need to scale in and scale out of certain trades in order to capitalize on your profits. So, but that being said, you start with one lots, and then as your account size grows, you increase your lot size. The process stays the same. You just increase your lot size. And the reason why we trade Tesla is because the liquidity in Tesla can handle anything that any of us retailers want to throw at it. There's tens of thousands of shares that are traded every single day. It allows you to be able to get in and out of your trades and not a big spread. And what I mean by spread is if you go to a strike price that's not traded, you can look at the IVs, the implied volatility on the options chain in the morning, and if it's not if the implied volatility is too small or too big, it impacts your premium price, right? So you want to look at the options that have a lot of open interest and also big volume being traded, and that means that my spreads are going to be no worse than 10 cents, right? And that means that I could put, if I want to get out of a trade, I can like split it right in the middle and get out of the trade. When the markets are moving, it's a little different. But when they slow down, that's where your impact is. Because if you're trading a strike price that doesn't have a lot of interest, your range could be huge. It could be a $3 range up to a $3.50 range, right? And that means that if you want to buy something, you're giving up 40 cents, 40 to 50 cents on that range, and you don't want to do that. So the worst you want to give up if you have to get in and out of the market is no worse than 10 cents, right? Or $10, right? So anyways, that's going to be about it for today. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. I did also add some links in the chat area here to get you to the website and also the WAP link where you can sign up for Discord. And then also you can get it down below if you hit the more button and go down in the description, all those links are there as well. So if I don't see everybody in the Discord channel, have a great day. Keep your lot size small, and we'll see everybody tomorrow morning.